So before this review of DuckTales Remastered begins, I would like to make your ears bleed with my absolute excitement and joy for this game. Enjoy. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo! Get to danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do, just grab onto some DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo! Not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales, woo! So out of all the remastered games and games that I've played throughout my life, I would have to say that DuckTales Remastered is one of those games that brings me back to the old 1989 nostalgia of the original classic game. DuckTales Remastered is exactly what it says. It is the original game, but remastered with not only beautiful visual effects, visual graphics, but for the whole new part, voice acting with the actual original actors who voiced the characters back in the early TV show. Just like the original game, it is a side-scroller platforming game in which you run across the screen, jump and do items, and solve simple little puzzles and have boss fights, which, by the way, happen to be just as hard, if not harder, than the original game. I, for one, found this game to not only be visually stimulating, it gave me a video game boner, but one of the biggest criticisms I see of this game is the fact that, number one, people are complaining that in order to not watch the cutscenes of characters talking back and forth, that you have to press the option button and go to the start menu and then press skip cutscene rather than being able to skip the cutscene. Quite personally, I enjoyed watching the cutscenes for the very first time, and I don't really see it as a really big problem unless you're just trying to rush through the game, but why would you want to rush through the game when it brings back the old original's nostalgia that the game had in the first place? For some strange reason, this game is actually getting a lot of a negative attention, people reviewing this game not really understanding exactly what it is. This game is a remastered edition, keeping very close and very similar to the original game that came out in the late 80s. That being said, a lot of the reviews are being negative because of the cutscenes or not having enough depth to the story. But here's the thing you're not really seeming to understand, most people who are giving this game negative reviews. This is not a modern game. This game should not be judged as a modern 2013 video game side-scroller platform. A lot of people seem to don't understand that this game is a remastered edition of the original, which takes almost all of the ideas, puts it into a new remastered format with better visuals, better graphics, improved, for the most part, story and dialogue and actual voice acting. And believe it or not, there are people who are nitpicking this game saying, well, I don't like this game, or I'm going to knock this game off a point simply because when I die, I have to restart all the way at the beginning. Really, have you never played the original games on NES, for example, Ninja Gaiden? That game was one hella hard game, and every time you would die, you'd have to restart. In fact, if you went back one screen, the enemies would respawn again. That game was fucking hard. And likewise, this game, if you play it on medium or hard, or the ultra hard, is almost as equal as the original game, if not harder than the original. For people to diss this game and simply knock off points because you can't skip the cutscenes when they're occurring within the game, or because you have to go to the menu to skip them, or in the fact that you have to respawn at the start of the level when you lose all your lives, those are not really, I don't think, legitimate criticisms of this game because you're simply judging it with a modern ideas and a modern idea of what a game should be, when this is simply, again, I repeat, a remastered version. And if you want to play a game that is a remastered version of the original DuckTales, which, by the way, I love and I'm a big fan of, then you will want to pick up this game because it will meet all of what you want in the remastered edition. It's improved, they have little puzzles, they have little items that you have to find, the boss battles have been improved majorly and drastically. And quite frankly, this is the visual masterpiece that I wanted to see, and it succeeded in that. If you're looking for a game that redefines what DuckTales originally was, then you will be severely disappointed with that game because, as it said, it's a remastered version. I really hope they start doing this with more games more frequently, for example, like Chip and Dale. I still remember playing that on the original NES and absolutely loved it. Overall, if I had to rate DuckTales Remastered Edition, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. The only really problem that I had with this game was, for some reason, the controls that I was using on a keyboard seemed to be relatively unresponsive. I'm not sure how many people dealt with this with consoles, PlayStation 3 or Xbox, but for me, I had unresponsive controls upon movement at times, and maybe some other people have went through that, maybe they haven't, I don't know. But nonetheless, I think that this game is being heavily criticized and heavily reviewed poorly because people don't seem to appreciate what this game originally was back in the day, and because it doesn't meet the modern standard of a platformer that we see today in most brand new games made in the modern era in which this game was made. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been my review of the DuckTales Remastered Edition. If you head over to my side channel, Humanoid Reptile, I am doing a Let's Play of Pokemon Pearl, and I will also be doing DuckTales Remastered game relatively soon on my side gaming channel. Thank you guys for watching, and peace, the rep out.